1-1.
Welcome to Resistance Chicks. I'm Michelle. This is Leah. It is April 17th, 2017. It is a Monday. We want to bring you what we all knew was going to happen with Erdogan, but it's happened and now we're bringing it to you. Erdogan.
He won.
Erdogan.
I would have said that you should have Erdogan on the side of caution and not voted for this referendum, but
I don't know exactly how democratic it was. I would tend to believe that it was more of a
shortly after the Turkish president Recep Tayyip Erdogan claimed a decisive victory.
I don't think, yeah.
Vote for me or die or be sent to prison. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
It was one of those easy votes.
Sure.
Right? Because if your name's in there and they check your name and you voted against it, you might lose a limb or something.
Exactly. I like all my fingers.
Find something against you and put you in political prison like all of the reporters. You guys realize we've covered this before. All of the reporters against Erdogan are in prison. Yeah. Like, seriously. And the EU is still having some sort of relationship with them. Now the EU has come out and said, well, this seriously affects our relationship. I mean, really. Like, if you're going to be like a dictator and everything, I'm not sure that we can handle that in the EU.
But you can still take me out to dinner on Friday nights and I'll take the free meal.
Exactly. You can still keep the refugees there. We'll still send you millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Sure.
All right.
But it's really affecting our relationship. Like, we can't talk like we used to.
It was, it's Sunday in the highly controversial referendum to expand his powers, and he says, if you start to try to belittle this referendum, all efforts will be in vain.
Wow.
Okay.
Which is a very strong statement.
Erdogan's official comments, carried by the state-run news agency because everyone else is in prison, right, do not appear to carry the tone of his remarks published by the Associated Press.
He says, I would like to thank all our citizens, regardless of how they voted, who went to the polling stations to protect their national will. Regardless of how you voted, I want to thank you all. And if you voted against me, I will thank you by throwing you in prison.
The results carried by and the Anadolu showed yes vote of about 51% compared to 48 no. So here's the thing. So many people didn't want this that they were willing to risk their very well-being. Their being on
I know, it's
no,
crazy.
Right?
Sorry, Sydney's
with nearly 99% of the vote counted. The opposition parties like the pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party contested the results and demanded recounts. I would too. The HDP took to Twitter calling for recounts and stating that it would appeal 2/3 of the votes. So according to the Daily Shabbat, the Republican People's Party has similarly demanded a recount of 40% of the votes. Sabah, which is pro-Erdogan, noted data show that Turkey's three biggest cities, Istanbul, Ankara, and Izmir, as well as the predominantly Kurdish southeast, voted no. Interesting. However, the yes campaign still performed better than expected in the southeast, where the region heavily voted for the pro-PKK. The HDP support for Kurdish minorities and left-wing politics have brought accusations by Erdogan supporters that they support the Kurdish Workers' Party, a U.S.-designated Marxist communist.
Yeah.
Right. Some of their leaders are in prison facing aiding and abetting a terrorist group. I'm going to tell you, I don't really know much about the people going down in Turkey. I don't know what, who's who, whether they're Marxists. I know a lot of them are Muslim. I know there used to be a lot of Christians there. They're not there anymore. But this is something for the West to keep their eye on. The fact that we are seeing the very birth of an Islamic country. And I don't know if this is the first major country to be birthed into an Islamic rule with modern media watching.
I know, and I find that that's very disturbing that this is being allowed to happen. However, for those of you that haven't seen the videos that we have covered in the past on what this referendum means, it means that in 2 years, Erdogan is going to be able to run for re-election, and in which case he's going to be able to stay in office probably, for another 2 5-year set of terms, which means that he will be in office until 2029.
Right.
Okay, and that's a really big deal. You know what he's going to be able to accomplish in the next 12 years.
They've been promising Muslims that they are going to be in an Islamic state.
Right.
This is their plan. This is the first step of their plan.
And I have to believe that those of you that are watching are already very well aware of what that means and how awful that is. Okay, that means implementation of Sharia law from a government standpoint, and so much more than just that. But primarily to start out with that, and just to have a dictator in general that's going to push that agenda, I think is just, I mean, Turkey was not like this.
Here's the thing. We have the death penalty in America. I believe that we used it properly. But when you have an Islamic regime, news broke Sunday that Erdogan plans to take up the issue of reinstating the death penalty. When you have an Islamic state, death penalty takes on a whole another
Well, there's
meaning.
reporters that are against Erdogan that are in jail. They could be given essentially the death penalty if it was deemed that they had crossed, and done something that the Quran states is, whatever.
Exactly. So he went out. One of his first thing was death penalty. Not exactly the first thing
you say as a thank you to your people.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. We're saying there.
Hooray! I won. Thank you all. And my first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I'm going to implement the death penalty. I'm bringing it back.
It's not been in effect since 1984.
Bring back the death penalty. Hey, that's like a voting slogan. I wish Trump would have run on that. I'm bringing back the death penalty. Okay, well, we already have it in many states, but I'm just saying that's not exactly what you do to kind of like endear your countrymen to you. But since he's already won, then that's what he's.
There were also 3 people were killed outside of a polling station in southeastern province of.
After a feud broke out. I don't know if I would use the word feud. I'm going to guess it was probably politically motivated.
So Erdogan won, and the UK, let me see, the
Did
EU,
we expect anything else? Not really.
It's a scandal. EU reviews Turkey membership to block after Erdogan wins a power grab vote. You're just going to kind of review it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He gave himself sweeping powers. Massive demonstrations broke out on Sunday night as it emerged that he secured more than 50% vote just by 1%. He would turn the country into a one-man regime, calling on Turks to respect the results of the vote. Mr. Erdogan said today, Turkey has taken a historic decision. With the people, we have realized the most important reform in our history.
Oh my gosh.
Politicians in the West rushed to condemn the alleged power grab as Danish People's Party Christian Thusendal demanded the European Union halt all talks with Turkey. He wrote on Facebook, Turkey as a future member of the EU. After today, even the biggest promoters of Turkey within the EU have realized that it's over. Yeah. It's over. It's over. Okay.
All right. So you guys can make what you will about that. Please leave your opinions in the comments. Like, subscribe to Macedonia 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications if you want to see more videos just like this. We love you guys. God loves you. Don't forget, it is not just a conspiracy theory if it's the truth.
I was cold all alone. No place for home every day. So afraid, but you caught my